Hi, my name is Dale Comstock. In this segment of Combat Mindset, which is the second part of a three-part series, I'm going to talk about John Boyd's OODA loop. What is OODA loop? OODA loop stands for Observe, Orient, Decide, and Act. And it's a mental tool for making decisions, making more effective decisions based on information that's around you and based on your mindset and your current perspective on life and on the world. What's central to the OODA loop, John Boyd's OODA loop, is the idea that everything is ambiguous. The world, everything is changing. There's always uncertainty. It's always ambiguous. And rather than being put off by that, we should embrace it. Understand that the dynamics of it's evolution. As we move along in life, everything evolves and changes or devolves. And with that information, we need to be able to adjust our way of thinking to accommodate to that. So, with all that in mind so far, the OODA loop really means we have to challenge paradigms. We have to challenge our own reality. Just because things are a certain way today and we see it a certain way today doesn't mean that next year it's still going to be the same. With evolution, we have to evolve with it. If we don't evolve with it by observing and staying tuned into the changes, we're going to get left behind. So like I mentioned earlier, it's a system of thinking. So, when we start with observation. Basically, observation doesn't mean just seeing, it's also sensing, feeling, smelling, tasting. It's using all your sensory receptors to observe what's going on, to collect information so that you can go to the next phase, which is orienting. When you orient, you're analyzing. You're taking that information and you're breaking it down, you're analyzing it for what it's worth, and then based on that information that you get, it leads you to the next phase, which is making a decision. So now we have the O, and the D, and then once we make a decision, we have to act. And it's a loop because even in the decision part, when you start making a decision, you can go back and collect more information, right, in the observation point, and then go through the cycle again. And once you complete, observe, orient, and make a decision, you can act on it. And at any phase, at any point in that OODA loop, you should always go back to the first part, which is observe again. You want to continuously collect information. It's kind of like I call it the 5-point problem-solving process, which is basically identifying the problem, analyzing the problem, developing courses of action, selecting course of action, and then implementing a course of action. And then you go back around to the top again. You keep doing that and keep refining that solution to you're fine-tuning it, because as I said earlier, with time and through evolution, things keep changing, and you need to adapt to that change, or you're going to get left behind. A classic example was Kodak. Kodak. They were the first ones to come up with the camera, and using regular film to make pictures and movies and stuff like that. And they were good at what they did, and they were really the king of the hill when it came to photography and stuff like that. However, where they failed was in the OODA loop. They didn't observe that. Eventually somebody's going to come along with a digital capability, digital pictures, digital video, digital cameras, which is going to make the old way of photography obsolete, which was what Kodak they pioneered. And so they didn't properly observe what was the evolution. They didn't didn't analyze it and really consider that, hey, we've got to adapt and make some changes to keep up or stay ahead of the competition, or we're going to go out of business. And because they didn't do that and they didn't make a decision, they went bankrupt. So it was really the kiss of death. So that's just an example of how OODA, because they didn't use it, they failed. Had they used it and used that process of thinking, it may have helped them stay relevant and maybe even on top of the industry. So again, it's a tool. It's really just a mental tool for you to organize your thoughts, and throughout life, no matter what you do, to organize your thoughts and prepare yourself for the changing paradigms, with evolution, and and the things that you may potentially be confronted with, right? That maybe you're not confronted with yet, or it's not really that important. And I'm going to talk more about that in the third segment, which is autogenic conditioning, which is developing strategies for changing paradigms, not only changing paradigms, but also unanticipated paradigms, unanticipated events. That what if scenario, that's what I'm going to show you how to prepare for that, so that even though you may have never trained for or experienced a particular situation, when it jumps up and presents itself, you'll have a plan already shelved in the back of your mind that you can pull off and implement to do something rather than do nothing and fail, or God forbid, be killed because of that.